you guys. For some of you, this is your first summer working in camp. Others might have worked here in previous years, but I'd like to share with all of you one other's perspective of what makes Camp Haley such a special place, and to help you understand what this camp means to so many of the campers and their families. Most people here have gone to camp for many years. You know how exciting camp is. Seeing friends you haven't seen since last year, the activities, the food, okay, maybe not the food, but you know what I mean. Camp is great. For many of the campers here, that's just what Haley means to them, a great camp. And that's amazing. And it's amazing that you can provide that experience for them. But what I want you to know is that for the kids here with special needs, coming to Haley is all that and so much more. My son Yehuda is one of those kids. Let me tell you his story. Yehuda started preschool in our local yeshiva, just like the other kids in the neighborhood. But we could tell early on that he really wasn't just like the other kids in the neighborhood. Yehuda was this adorable kid with loads of chayim and loads of energy. He was all the teachers' favorites, but he just couldn't sit for circle time. He was that kid that always needed to sit on a teacher's lap, and eventually it became clear that Yehuda really needed more help. At the end of 3-1A, the school sat us down and told us that they didn't have the resources to provide Yehuda with the support that he needed, and that he would have to find another program for first grade. In retrospect, it's obvious that that was really what Yehuda needed, but at the time, it was really hard to hear. For the next 3 years, Yehuda attended special programs in public schools or in a non-Jewish special ed school. Even though he was young, it was really hard for him. He wore his kippah proudly, but none of the other children in his school looked like him. At the same time, none of the other kids on the block went to a non-Jewish school like he did. And no matter what we did to make him feel like he belonged, he still never felt that way. Shabbos and Yom Tov were especially tough. Yehuda would sit at the table, but he didn't have projects for the Parsha or the Yom Tovim like his younger siblings. And for years, Yehuda wouldn't go to shul because he felt like everybody else knew exactly what they were doing while he didn't belong. He felt lonely, awkward, and left out. I remember the summer after second grade, Yehuda's school had a 12-month program, like a lot of special schools. He was having a good time, but all of our friends' kids were in Jewish day camps or sleepaway camps, and we kept thinking to ourselves how much we wished that there was a camp that Yehuda could go to. Of course, there was HAS, and Yachad had programs in a bunch of camps too, but those were for much lower functioning kids. Meanwhile, the other regular camps were just too much for a kid like Yehuda to handle on his own. That's when Camp Haley came into our lives. It was the first year of camp. We had heard that OL had just opened up a camp that would finally fill this gap for the kids who were in between the special camps and the regular camps. Yehuda was too young to go that year, but we knew that when the time was right, that would be Yehuda's camp. We signed him up that summer, and for the entire year, Yehuda looked forward to his first summer at Camp Haley. And what we didn't even realize at the time was how perfect it would turn out. Because over the year, we decided that Yehuda was ready to go to a Jewish school. So the following summer, when Yehuda was finally ready to go to camp, it was a big summer for him. That was the summer before Yehuda transferred to Sinai at RYJ. You have to realize, going to Sinai was a huge change for him. Here he was, about to go to a real yeshiva, where the kids davened every day, learned Torah, read Hebrew, and did all the things that Yehuda had never done in school before. It was really scary for Yehuda, so going to Camp Haley the summer before was the perfect transition. Coming here to camp gave Yehuda a chance to be with other frum kids, to daven, to learn on his level without all the pressures of school. It really allowed Yehuda to feel like he was one of the guys, like he belonged in a frum environment, and it really built up his confidence. It was the perfect transition for Yehuda from a totally non-Jewish environment to a yeshiva, and it allowed him to start off at Sinai on the right foot with his head held high. I still remember the first Friday night after Yehuda started at Sinai. He brought his folder home to the table and took out his parsha sheet, and he started to say, "My Rebbe said." My husband and I missed the whole Torah because we just sat at the table crying. And now, fast forward to 2017. This year, Yehuda just graduated from Sinai at RYJ, and will be entering high school at Sinai at TABC after this summer, his 6th summer at Camp Haley. Looking back, it's hard to... Great audience. Looking back, it's hard to believe how far Yehuda has come. And I want you all to know, I really believe that Camp Haley has played an essential part in that progress. Each year, the experience that the people here, from the head staff all the way down, have provided for Yehuda has built him up, made him feel so good about himself, and given him something to look forward to all year round. Yehuda tells everyone that Camp Haley is his home away from home. He has kept the camp t-shirt from every summer he's been here. He has a whole collection of them, with Kaylee cash that he hoards for the canteen, and his sweatshirt, his Kaylee sweatshirt and blanket. They're his prized possession. Each summer, the guys here have brought out the best in Yehuda and given him a chance to shine in a way that he would not have gotten in other places. Just one small example. Yehuda loves to take pictures and do graphic design and video editing. Over the past few summers, the camp has used a bunch of Yehuda's pictures in the videos and acknowledged him for them. Do you know how proud he's felt of that? And who knows, maybe that'll be a career path for him. And 20 years from now, he'll look back, and this is where he first felt that he was recognized for his talent. So that's one thing I want to share with you about the special work that goes on here. I want each one of you here to know, and to keep this in mind throughout the summer, whether you're a counselor, sports staff, or kitchen worker, that you have the opportunity this summer to impact the lives of children in the way that Yehuda's life was impacted here. With your words, with your kindness, with your attitude, you can make the difference in a child's life who can really use it. You have the chance this summer to make a kid feel like he belongs, not just in your bunk, but in the Jewish community, like he has the same business, walking into shul and davening to Hashem as everyone else around him. And that's no simple thing. I know it's not always easy. Sometimes it takes a lot of patience. I'll get to that in a second. But the impact you can have is so worth it. You know, we all try to grab as many mitzvahs as we can, but there are only so many hours in a day. And each one of us is only one person. But if you can do something that will change a person's life, then that's just not one mitzvah. That keeps going. Think about it. If because of you a child feels more comfortable going to shul, then every time that kid davens in shul, you have a piece of that. What a tremendous plus. So that's the first thing, how much you are giving to these kids. The second thing I want you to know is just how much you are giving to their families. I'll be honest with you. I love Yehuda with all my heart. He has a heart of gold and he's wonderful in so many ways. But it's hard being his mother, and it's hard having him around sometimes. Am I right, David? And it's not just Yehuda. Every parent of a special needs child will tell you the same thing. It's not easy. Let me correct that. It's really hard. Yehuda means well, and he has his own way of doing things and his own agenda. He bumps up against us and his siblings. It could be a lot of stress. Every now and then, he'll go away for Shabbos to his grandparents. And even though we feel guilty saying it, it's such a relief. So having the chance to send Yehuda off to a place where we know he's taken care of, where we know he's having fun and eating well, the Haley canteen knows him too well. It changes everything. It's like we have our family back again. And then when Yehuda comes home, it's a honeymoon. He gets a king's welcome. We have patience for him because we all got a much needed break. It might sound funny, but some parents say they don't want to send their kids to camp because they'll miss them too much. Not us. We send Yehuda to camp 46 hours from now, but he was counted. We send him to camp so that we'll miss him again. So that's the second thing. You might think that you're just helping the kids in your bunk, but really, you're helping all of their families so much by giving them the respite, the break that they so badly need. And just one more thing I want to add. When a kid with special needs comes to an integrated camp like this, they're not just coming so they can be friends with their counselors or the other special needs kids. They're coming so that they can be integrated into a bunk with mainstream kids. To do that, it's not enough to just put them in a bunk with the other kids and hope that they'll fit in. A lot of those kids can't play sports very well, they might be awkward, or have different interests than the other kids in the bunk. That's where you guys come in. Making them really a part of the bunk means encouraging them and helping them to join conversations or activities that they might not know how to or feel comfortable doing. It means continually looking out for situations where the mainstream kids form their own clique and the other kids are left on their own. It's a big responsibility, but that's really why these kids come here. And so I just want to thank you on behalf of all the mothers, all the fathers, and all the siblings, and most of all on behalf of our children for all the work that you're going to be putting into them this month. I know that you're going to have an incredible time. They're going to have an incredible time. And I hope that you have an incredible time and that knowing the importance of what you are doing